Hockney, Shanghai Immersion. Imagine stepping not into a gallery, but into the very mind of an artist. Not to look at a painting on a wall, but to be completely consumed by it, to have its colors wash over you and its lines stretch into your periphery. This is not a futuristic fantasy. It's the reality David Hockney, one of the most influential living artists, has engineered in the heart of Shanghai. His exhibition, provocatively titled Bigger and Closer, isn't just another art show. It's a declaration, a monumental thesis on how we see, and a radical reimagining of the relationship between the artwork and its audience. Held within the cavernous, technologically advanced walls of Shanghai's Lightroom, this experience shatters the traditional, reverent distance we're taught to keep from masterpieces. Here, the art doesn't hang politely in a frame. It breathes, it moves, and it surrounds you on 4-story-high walls, powered by a state-of-the-art projection system and accompanied by a soundscape that pulls you deeper into Hockney's world. The core concept is a direct assault on centuries of artistic tradition. Since the Renaissance, Western art has largely been dominated by the idea of single-point perspective, the world viewed as if through a small window or a keyhole. The painting is a static object, and you, the viewer, are a passive observer standing at a specific, ideal distance. Hockney has spent his entire career, over 60 years, fighting against this limitation. He argues it's a lie. It's not how we actually experience the world. We don't see with a single static eye. We see with 2 constantly moving eyes, our head turning, our body in motion. Our perception is a composite, a flowing, immersive experience. The title, Bigger and Closer, is the ultimate expression of this philosophy. He's not interested in making the world smaller and pushing it further away into a neat little frame. He wants to bring the world, his vision, right up to your senses, making it bigger, more immediate, and overwhelmingly present. In Shanghai, this philosophy is made manifest. The exhibition is structured into 6 themed chapters, each a deep dive into a core tenet of his life's work, narrated by Hockney himself. His calm, thoughtful Yorkshire accent becomes your guide through this visual symphony. You don't just see his iconic paintings of Californian swimming pools, you are virtually plunged into them. The shimmering, turquoise water seems to ripple across the colossal screens. The light so brilliantly rendered, you can almost feel the Los Angeles sun. You journey through his grand, multi-panel landscapes of the Yorkshire Wolds, the sheer scale of the projection finally doing justice to the epic scope of the original canvases. The vibrant greens and purples of the English countryside are no longer confined. They become an environment that envelops you. This is a crucial distinction from many other so-called immersive art experiences that have become popular. While shows celebrating artists like Van Gogh or Monet are often posthumous tributes created by production companies, the Hockney exhibition is different. This is Hockney, the living artist, directing the show. Every transition, every zoom, every piece of music was chosen or approved by him. It's not an interpretation of his work, it is his work, presented in a new, technologically advanced medium that he has actively embraced. The technology itself is staggering. The Lightroom space is essentially a massive architectural cube, a digital canvas far beyond anything a traditional museum could offer. The projections are pin-sharp, the colors perfectly calibrated to match his original palette. The sound design, composed by Nico Muli, isn't just background music. It's an integral layer of the experience, swelling with the drama of his Grand Canyon pieces, and becoming contemplative during his more intimate iPad drawings of the Normandy countryside. The experience is designed to be overwhelming, to short-circuit the analytical part of your brain and appeal directly to your senses. When his multi-camera video works of a forest are displayed, you feel a sense of movement as if you are walking through the woods with him. When his recent iPad paintings, drawn during the changing seasons in Normandy, are projected, you see the digital brushstrokes on a scale that reveals their texture and energy, making you feel closer to the act of creation than ever before. You are not just looking at a picture, a place, you are being transported that place, guided by the artist's own hand and eye. This Shanghai presentation is more than an exhibition. It's the culmination of a lifelong obsession. It's the moment where Hockney's philosophical quest to capture the truth of perception finally found a technology powerful enough to fully realize his vision, inviting us all to step through the frame and see the world as bigger, closer, and more vibrant than we ever imagined. Block 2. Hockney Digital Evolution. To truly understand the monumental statement David Hockney is making in Shanghai, we have to look beyond the towering screens and mesmerizing projections. We have to trace the decades of relentless experimentation that led to this point. The Bigger and Closer exhibition is not a sudden leap into the digital age for an aging master. It is the logical, explosive conclusion of a career defined by a restless curiosity for new ways of seeing and new tools for image making. Hockney has never been just a painter. He has always been an investigator of perception, and his primary subject has always been the very act of looking itself. This journey from traditional canvas to the all-encompassing digital environment is a masterclass in artistic evolution. It arguably begins in the early 1980s with his famous photo collages, which he called joiners. At the time, Hockney was intensely frustrated with the limitations of photography. He called the camera's viewpoint the view of a paralyzed cyclops, static, one-eyed, and devoid of the passage of time and space that defines human vision. So he began taking hundreds of Polaroid or 35mm photos of a single subject, a person, a room, a landscape, and physically piecing them together into a composite image. The results, like the iconic Pear Blossom Highway, were fragmented, cubist-inspired panoramas. They didn't offer a single, perfect perspective. Instead, they documented the experience of looking, the way our eyes scan and refocus, the way time unfolds as we observe a scene. These joiners were the first crucial step in breaking the frame. They were his initial attempt to create an image that was bigger and closer to actual human experience, even using the most basic analog technology. This fascination with technology as a tool for art continued unabated. Hockney was an early adopter of everything from the fax machine, which he used to send entire exhibitions piece by piece, to the color photocopier, which he used to create layered and vibrant prints. He wasn't interested in technology for novelty's sake. He was interested in what it could do for the creation of pictures. How could a new tool expand his ability to capture light, color, and perspective? This question led him inevitably to the computer. But it was the arrival of the iPhone in 2007 and later the iPad in 2010 that triggered a true revolution in his practice. Here was a device he could carry anywhere, a luminous screen that allowed him to draw with his finger or a stylus, capturing the fleeting effects of light with astonishing speed and brilliance. He began by sending small daily drawings of flowers to his friends from his iPhone, digital bouquets that never wilted. But with the larger canvas of the iPad and the sophistication of apps like brushes, his ambition soared. He found he could paint en plein air without the clutter of paints, easels, and canvases. He could capture the sunrise over the Yorkshire coast from his bed, the exact hue of a morning sky before it vanished. The iPad became his digital sketchbook, and its playback feature was a revelation. He could record and re-watch every single mark he made, deconstructing the process of creation itself. This work culminated in massive exhibitions where these digital drawings were printed on a large scale or display on screens. But the Shanghai experience takes it to a new level. In Bigger and Closer, we see these iPad drawings not as static prints, but as living things. We watch, mesmerized, as a complex Normandy landscape is built up line by line, color by color, on a 4-story wall, giving us an unprecedentedly intimate view of the artist's process. Before the full immersion of the Lightroom project, he also delved into multi-camera video work. Using an array of 9 or even 18 synchronized high-definition cameras mounted on a vehicle, he filmed the changing seasons in the Yorkshire countryside. When displayed on a grid of monitors, these films created a vast, moving tapestry that again defied a single viewpoint. The viewer's eye is forced to roam across the screens, piecing together the scene, actively participating in the act of looking. This was another direct precursor to Bigger and Closer, training both himself and his audience to embrace a wider, more dynamic field of vision. All these threads, the photo collages, the embrace of digital drawing, the multi-camera videos, are woven together in the Shanghai exhibition. It is the synthesis of his lifelong critique of the single, static image. It's his ultimate argument that art shouldn't be a window onto a distant world, but a space you can enter, a world that surrounds you, an experience that is, finally, as big and as close as life itself. Block 3. Art Future Shanghai. The decision to premiere Bigger and Closer in a city like Shanghai is, in itself, a profound statement. Shanghai is a metropolis synonymous with the future, a vertical city of dazzling technological ambition and rapid cultural evolution. By bringing his most technologically advanced show here, Hockney isn't just exhibiting his work, he's engaging in a dialogue with the 21st century. The reception has been phenomenal, resonating deeply with a digitally native audience that is accustomed to immersive and interactive experiences. In a city where art, technology, and commerce intersect so fluidly, Hockney's show feels less like a traditional art exhibition and more like a native cultural event. It speaks a visual language that is both universally human and perfectly attuned to the contemporary urban moment. The impact is a two-way street. Hockney is challenging Shanghai's citizens to see art differently, and Shanghai, as a symbol of the future, is validating his work as utterly relevant and forward-looking. This exhibition throws down a gauntlet to the very institution of the museum. For centuries, the White Cube Gallery has been the default sanctuary for art. A quiet, sterile, contemplative space where viewers are expected to behave with a certain reverence. Hockney's immersive world is the antithesis of the quiet white cube. It is loud, dynamic, and demands sensory engagement rather than just quiet contemplation. This raises critical questions about the future of art presentation. Is this the new model? Will the Museum of the Future be less of a repository for objects and more of a venue for experiences? Critics of this trend worry that spectacle can overshadow substance, that the Instagrammable moment might replace genuine artistic engagement. However, Hockney's project masterfully sidesteps this critique because the spectacle is the substance. The immense scale is not a gimmick, it is the entire philosophical point. He uses the tools of spectacle to deliver a deeply personal and intellectually rigorous artistic vision, proving that immersive technology can be a powerful medium for serious art, not just commercial entertainment. The Shanghai show serves as a powerful blueprint for the future of exhibitions, particularly for living artists. It demonstrates how an artist can use technology to control their own narrative and present their work on their own terms, reaching a broader and more diverse audience than ever before. It suggests a future where artists are not just creators of objects, but architects of entire worlds and experiences. This could democratize art, making it more accessible and less intimidating for people who might not feel comfortable in a traditional museum setting. The shared communal experience of being bathed in the light and sound of Hockney's world fosters a different kind of connection to art, one that is more emotional, immediate, and collective. It hints at a future where the line between cinema, theater, and visual art becomes increasingly blurred, leading to new hybrid forms of creative expression that we are only just beginning to imagine. Ultimately, the enduring legacy of Bigger and Closer is a testament to David Hockney himself. At an age when most are content to reflect on their past achievements, Hockney is still fiercely focused on the future. He remains relentlessly curious, an 86-year-old pioneer on the digital frontier. His career has been a masterclass in adaptation and innovation, a constant refusal to be confined by any style, medium, or definition of what an artist should be. He has seamlessly bridged the worlds of traditional painting and cutting-edge technology, proving that they are not mutually exclusive but are simply different tools in the service of a singular, unwavering goal: to capture the joy and wonder of seeing the world. This exhibition is not just a retrospective, it's a vibrant, living manifesto. It is the culmination of a life spent looking and a generous invitation for all of us to open our eyes wider, look closer, and see the world and art itself in a brilliant new light.